All right, everybody, I want to welcome you back to our Week 3 recap content for the Cult of Larry Draft League. I'm Dr. Geo, and with me is...
Hey, McGee.
And we're going to be covering all of the exciting happenings in the league. We'll cover every single match, we'll give some thoughts on it, we'll go in depth on a few matches, and take a look at some standings. And after 3 weeks, we're finally starting to see some trends, but nothing's set in stone, you know?
No, still very early. As long as you have a win, you are very much in the race still. Even without a win, there's still room.
Yeah. So, without further ado, we're just going to kind of jump into the content. And we're going to take a look here at this first match. This is between the Eccleshall Entes, coached by Farmer Fox, going up against the Pallet Town Plague, coached by Tox. So here, let's take a look at the Mons. Alright, here we go. We have on Farmer's team, we have the Meowstick, Landorus, Chestnut, Blastoise, Slurpuff, and Megalopunny.
And then on Tox's side, we got the Victini, the Primarina, the Excadrill, the Dracopult, the Buzzwole, and the Weezing. So Weezing has a lot to do here, obviously, because it wants to simultaneously manage... Not really, it can't really manage Landorus, but it really needs to keep Megalop in check from just spamming on you.
And it needs to make sure it's not a setup Slurpuff, because that's your only check to it.
100%. If that's setup Slurpuff, then Weezing can't afford to fall below like 50%.
Yeah.
Maybe even, probably 50%. But go ahead.
Having seen this match, I'm going to go ahead and show the spoilers. It's a 2-0 for Farmer, and Slurpuff does some heavy lifting. This match is a roller coaster, and that Landorus gets in on Primarina as it's setting up a Rock Polish, and it looks like, maybe this is just it. We're going to win the match. Primarina lives on 1% HP to get the Ice Beam KO back. And then eventually, you see some Searing Shot Victini, which is very uncommon.
Very peculiar unless you're trying to take out berries, but that'd be super techy if you're really trying to extinguish certain berries.
And in this match in particular, we see why V-Create's usually preferred, in that there was a chance where it could have taken out the Slurpuff, and it just was unable to do so because it's an 80 base power difference. But if you're trying to just spam moves, there's probably an argument for running still 100 base power move. So
absolutely.
So I don't remember what else is on Farmer's Fox's team, but I'm just saying there could still be a reason. But yeah, so the Chestnut eventually cleans it up because Specs Dragapult, and it's bulletproof off the Shadow Ball. So, and you see Dual Chop, which is actually some nice tech against sub Dragapult.
Yeah, if you're too afraid to roar it away that it might set up too much or something like that, Dual Chop's a good way to break it on the first hit it with the second one. It might honestly be the first time I've ever seen Dual Chop used in draft.
Yeah.
And I've watched probably well over 1,000 matches. So cool on Farmer Fox for bringing a move that doesn't always have a lot of utility, but finding where it would be useful here.
It was a great match. It's a short match, but it was great.
Yeah, really back and forth. It really went both ways a couple times, and then Farmer cleans it up.
Yeah. Next is our featured match between Hysterically and Jeg, so we're gonna move on. We'll cover this a little deeper later. Alright, so here we have a match between Martin and Mike CW. So we'll introduce the teams. I saw this one live. The replay doesn't exist, so you'll just have to take my word for it on what happens. We're here on Martin's team. We have Tapu Koko, Nidoking, Keldeo, Noivern, Zarude, and Mesprit.
And then on Mike's team, we got the Alolan Muck, the Darmanitan, the Mew, the Stunfisk, the Mega Blastoise, and the Como.
Right. So go ahead.
I was going to say Alolan Muck's kind of interesting in this matchup. It definitely handles the Mesprit well, but it doesn't pursuit trap much here. Kind of the Noivern maybe. Some knockoff spam. Knockoff. I take it back. Knockoff spam in this matchup is pretty helpful. So there's room for a little muck.
Yeah, Muck actually does pretty well this match. So here's kind of the breakdown of what's going on. Let me click the spoiler tab. So Mew gets a couple kills, Darm gets a couple kills, Stunfisk, and Muck. Muck gets a KO off of Mesprit gets a little brave on the Muck and stays in for a knockoff. And
Yeah. Overcalled that one. Muck doesn't really have reason to click other moves besides knockoff. Maybe Poison Jab, which Mesprit still doesn't want to be hit by.
But then there's other things too, where the Scarf Darmanitan was just a little too much. Scarf Darmanitan gets the Mew in on Coco, and Mew has running Earth Power, so Coco is surprisingly taken out. Kamao never sees the field.
I'm sure it was a scary set too, because it just needs to get maybe a Dragon Dance to get faster than Coco. I feel like physical's fine here. Dragon Dance with Earthquake and Dragon Claw and maybe something else.
Fine. Zarude gets a chance to take out the Blastoise, and then Stunfisk. Stunfisk just became a problem. I don't remember the exact circumstances. Maybe Keldeo got taken out a little early, and Nidoking definitely did from the Darm. So at that point, Stunfisk is just like, cool, I'm good. You guys can't do nothing. So it was well done by Mike. It was well played. I think Martin had some good ideas. The Recover Mesprit looks very annoying to break through, by the way.
Yes. If Muck hadn't been able to do it, the team might have had an issue with that Mesprit.
Yeah. So well done. Alright, moving on to the next match here. We have Hope's Peaks Deoxys, coached by Josh, going up against the Moody Marshadow, coached by Bloop. So here, on Josh's team, we have the Jolteon, the Jellicent, Steelix, Weezing, Porygon 2, and Latios.
And then on Bloop's side, we got the Tornadus Therian, the Jirachi, the Megachomp, the Galarian Slowking, the Moltres, and the Clefable. There is not a lot keeping this Garchomp in check. Weezing is a one-time answer, mostly because if you're Berry,
and Ironhead, well, you can't be Berry. That's the Fairy Berry, right?
No, Babiri is the Steel Berry.
Oh. Well, I feel like
That's
even if you're running that, it's still bad.
It's a one-time answer, because then if you get flinched or you get hit once with it and lose the berry, you're no longer a safe switch on Garchomp, and that'd be a problem.
Yeah, I feel like Jellicent gets one go at it too. Not if you're switching it to a Sword Stance. That's too spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just really tough. If Latios gets a little bit ahead, but Latios doesn't break through Jirachi and Glowking.
No, not well. Psyshock will do some chip, but Jirachi is just a real problem for Latios unless it, someone gets a
and
agility
Clef
weakness
too.
policies that going. Yeah, it's tough.
All right, I'm gonna guess Bloop won this one. This matchup just feels really impossible. Maybe if Steelix gets like 6 Dragon Dances.
But yeah, Chomp gets the Sword Stance, and then it gets the Ironhead flinch on Weezing, and then that's basically it. He gets forced out for a bit because he wasn't able to get a Scale Shot off, but then he gets another opportunity on like the Jellicent or on the Jolteon. He gets to do it again on the Jolteon, and then it just gets out of hand.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? This matchup looks impossible. I'm not sure.
It was, kudos to Joshua for trying to find an out, but this was just not a favorable scenario.
All right. So next we have the Dallas High Horsepower, coached by Shark, going up against the Miami Mantines, coached by Old Man Jensens.
Jensens, I like that. That sounds right.
Yeah. All right, here on Dallas' side, we have the Roserade, Ursaluna, Spectrier, Comfey, Umbreon, Zapdos.
And then on Old Man Jen's side, we've got the Audino, the Still Valley, the Garchomp, the Skarmory, the Gardevoir, the Scrafty. So
All
Old
right,
Man's in a really tough spot here where Audino obviously has to come to answer Spectrier, but it's so vulnerable to just a double switch into Ursaluna.
and
And there's
Ursulina
not.
will murder whatever switch in. Like,
Yeah, Skarmory can kind of, but if Skarmory gets caught on a roost into an EQ, that's also game over for Skarmory. So it's a really tough matchup for Old Man to protect his answers to Shark's raw power.
and Shark was able to play the first couple of turns to near perfection, just kind of like calling everything out. So Shark wins this match. It's a 5-0, and like the first couple turns looked like this. It was a dazzling gleam, like it was a Rose versus Chomp lead, and it was a dazzling gleam against the Chomp as Chomp set up rocks, and then I think the Chomp knew it scares Chomp out because maybe Earthquake doesn't KO a defensive variant. I'm not sure. Probably not because it's neutral. Probably does like 70 to 90 in that range, but so it scares the Chomp out as it starts setting up spikes. And I don't remember if it was like the Skarmory that came in or something, but like, or the guard. No, it wasn't guard because he would have just sludge wave. But like, he gets 3 layers of spikes up right off the bat. Oh, it was Skarmory, and he gets it asleep, I think.
Oh.
And so he gets a ton of spikes up, and then starts getting in like Ursaluna and Zapdos and it really limits Chomp to be able to come in against the Zapdos, and like Old Man keeps in it, but it was tough until eventually the Audino goes down.
And once the Audino goes down, that releases the real menace here for this matchup.
Right. Because especially with 3 layers of spikes up, there just wasn't anything.
No, because Audino really can't heal all that much switching in at all, really. If it's 3 layers of spikes, that's 25%. Audino gets 33 on switch out, so it's not really getting much health back from switching around. So Shark's allowed to even just play the guessing game of coming in with Spectrier, see if Audino comes in, or you can click Dark Pulse or Shadow Ball.
Yeah, at a certain point, you don't have to predict anymore. Like, once there's enough chip on everything, you can just attack what's in front of you and everything works out.
Yep. And that's got to the point where Shark was able to do that, and Spectrier did what Spectrier does, which is sweet.
Give it an inch, it takes a mile. Alright, so this next match hasn't happened yet. It's between the British People by Very Chargebug and Bleakwing Therians by GDP. Due to some personal reasons, the match was delayed till this week, so it will happen. Just hasn't happened as of the time we're recording. Alright, so the last match we're going to look at is between the Minnesota Male Swine, coached by Omnic Fenrir, going up against the Detroit Dumpster Kittens by HXRT. So here on Minnesota's side, we have the Zeraora, Rotom Heat, Mega Diancie, Vaporeon, Melmetal, and Zapdos Galar.
And then HXRT's side, we've got the Mega Scizor, the Hariyama, the Tangrowth, the Swampert, the Starmie, and the Kyurem. It's kind of fun to see Hariyama. I saw it once in a season, I think, of XPDLA, getting some regular utility, but it's not a mon that shows up a lot in draft, but strong fighting types, especially with guts, are just really, really scary when they show up because there's not a lot of answers.
And even then, it can be super bulky with the thick fat set. Like, its bulk numbers are very impressive. So Omnic has some like good offense here. Like, so if you can get the Scizor down with Mega Diancie, which probably involves the Mystical Fire, like sub and a Mystical Fire, however it is, then Moonblast spam will win the day. Like, you get it on Hariyama. Well, Hariyama does have bullet punch.
It does indeed.
Alright, so it's a little tougher to just spam it, because Starmie will KO. Kyurem could easily be Scarf. Okay, so this is actually pretty tough for Mega Diancie. You need to spend enough time to like scout everything out for what's going on. Melmetal looks like he could have a good time, but
Yeah, Mega Scizor is
Swampert,
just really hard to.
yeah, between Swampert and Mega Scissor, I
Even
could,
Tangrowth, if it's Rocky Helmet sets, it just gets. It's tough. I think Galarian Zapdos is the best spammer here since Brave Bird has no resists.
yeah, I think that's probably it. And Rotom Heat, but like this Starmie could be, bulky and it's just not gonna care. Like only Zeraora is really gonna pressure it out. Like and like Vaporeon's always gonna switch in, so you can always double into like Tangrowth or Kyurem. It's tough. I think XRT probably takes it. Yeah, and it's 3 Hariyama kills. I think it was a bulk up set actually.
Oh, that sounds right. Bulk up Drain Punch is pretty hard to deal with.
And I think
Because
Starmie,
again, Mega Dancing can't revenge.
this may be another Starmie match I'm remembering, but I think Starmie was spreading some statuses or no, that's another league. I don't remember what the Starmie was doing, but yeah, so that's that. So very well done. Again, that was just a hard matchup where like I get it. Mega Deontay looked good at first for me, and then it just looks more and more like it's struggling in that matchup. So, but we're gonna jump on over to our featured match. This is between Hysterically and Jegs. So I'll go ahead and introduce Hysterically's team. We have the Mega Gallade, the Gliscor, Lantern, Hydreigon, Greninja, and Swirlix.
Love the Swirlix.
Oh,
Love
yeah.
the Bring. On Jake's side, we've got the Urshifu, I believe it's single strike, the Corviknight, the Ambipom, the Volcarona, the Gengar, and the Slowking.
Alright. So,
Defogs. Sticky Webs is fun here, although Corviknight just pretty easily defogs unless you keep constant pressure, but this team doesn't have
what
Fire Bring.
Yeah, like what?
Lantern is not pressuring.
No.
So
you
webs are fun, but you got to kill Corviknight before you put those down.
So, I mean, if you get them down, you're looking golden. If Lantern, oh no, you have Giga Drain. It's a pretty spooky Volcarona game too. Like, Water Shuriken's your best friend, but you got to make sure you chunk it when it's trying to set up. And it naturally outspeeds most of your team too, so it's not free.
Yep.
Okay, let's see what happens. 3, 2, 1, go. So we have this Gliscor lead going up against Ambipom.
Solid lead.
Yeah, I mean it could have
Ambipom.
Could have been an Ice Punch. So.
All right, Swirlix coming in here on the Ambipom is pretty great. Endeavor.
Perfect. You traded
just
one
takes
for
the
one.
Ambipom, which is as much as Swirlix was going to do there because there wasn't a good web scenario with that.
Yeah.
Corviknight. It just wasn't.
Like,
it wasn't going to be allowed.
Fantastic. Okay. All right.
Greninja. There's no switching for Urshifu here. Lantern comes in, which
Free Volt
Corviknight
switch.
coming in on the Lantern's interesting because I would have Volt switched naturally.
Yeah. But here you can get one. Yeah, Roost, but you're not going to do that much damage.
I mean, you just Volt switch out here and try to set up with something. If either Glade or the Hydreigon have a setup move, now is the ideal time. Good Volt switch coming in. Should be a Hydreigon. Oh, Glade. Glade's interesting here because it's probably a Colbur. Yep. Colbur Berry.
No reason
and
not
then
to.
You hope,
I really like running Slowking Colbur Berry against Hydreigon to trade the berry for a Thunder Wave.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, yeah. So you got to punt the Corviknight because you don't have any switch-ins. Lantern.
Scarf.
U-turn, that's fine.
Why I don't get why he U-turns. I think he Wicked Blow there every time because Hydreigon's not a switch in on Wicked Blow.
No, a little bit of an overpredict there, I'm guessing, going for the Focus Blast instead of just Shadow Ball. Good double. Good double.
Gliscor probably has enough bulk to take a Flamethrower. If I'm Gliscor here and I have a Rock Move, I'm clicking that Rock Move. There it is.
Yeah.
Really important Rock Move. Because that starts to get scary.
Yeah.
I sack Lantern here. Yeah, I sack Lantern there. You don't need it anymore. You could use Gliscor to pressure the Gengar later.
And you never
Use
know
Earthquake
where the wicked.
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh, that's spicy.
Dragon Dance without the physical. Draco Meteor.
And he catches the adamant. Urshifu.
No, you outspeeds regardless.
No,
Urshifu's
it's Scarf.
1 point slower.
Scarf.
I know, but Urshifu's 1 point slower.
Oh,
than
I thought
Hydreigon,
it was 95.
No, it's 93 in Hydreigon. 324 max speed for
No, it's 90,
Hydreigon.
97. Urshi's 97.
And Hydreigon's 98.
Okay.
Yeah. So Hydreigon outspeeds by 1.
Yep. Wow. Okay, so that's actually pretty spicy. I like that. The Dragon Dance special set.
Fun mix-up. Throws your opponent off because they expect to fit. That's why it works really well here because I don't think it matters all that much, but Hydreigon, or not Hydreigon, the Urshifu probably thinks it has a livable chance against the Hydreigon if it's a physical Hydreigon trying to click like Superpower or something, but it isn't trying to click Superpower, it's just trying to click Drake or Meteor.
Yeah.
So
that was really fun. Started off really good for Jeg, but then a few, what's the way to put it, just kind of like lackadaisical turns, and all of a sudden hysterically gets back in because, the same way that there's no switch-ins for the Mega Gallade, there was no switch-ins for the Urshifu. And
I think if he had taken advantage of Hysterically's passiveness with the Lantern, he might have had a more winnable opportunity there. And if he maybe Wicked Blows with the Urshifu rather than U-turning, I think honestly, if there's a turn I can point to, I think it's the U-turn, that turn that cost him the game because it let Lantern live when it wouldn't have on a Wicked Blow, and it gave some windows for Hysterically to get back into it. Although I guess
conversely, it just lets the Hydreigon in and he gets set up and goes
the Dragon Dance.
Yeah.
So I guess I take that back, unless it's not a Scarf Urshifu after all, but I'm pretty sure it was a Scarf Urshifu. So
yeah.
Either way, good game. Well done Hysterically, getting himself on the board after a couple of rough games to start the season.
So we're gonna go jump over to our standings right now, and here we have Mike sitting alone at the top. He's 3-0 with 13. We have quite a few teams at 2-0. GDP hasn't played his match yet. It's the only one.
So he has a chance to get caught up on the leaderboard, but Mike will retain top position off differential.
Yeah. Everyone else can kind of see it as it is. We have 2 people still looking to make their first win between Tox and Martin. So I imagine they will shortly. Their play's been pretty good. It's just, you run into some tough stuff. Let's take a look at the leaderboards. So we have Zoroark sitting at top after one stellar performance of getting a 6-0 last week. And we have got a lot of stuff at 5 between the Mew, Spectre, Hydreigon, Skarmory.
I gotta say, I'm really happy to see the lack of a standout Mon in this division because it does feature some folks that are just a little newer with draft. And what ends up happening sometimes, especially in a team that's 3-0 or something towards the top of the leaderboard, you start relying on a one Mon that just starts picking up KOs because that just becomes your regular win con. But we're seeing a lot of variety with these teams in terms of what picks up KOs and what they utilize to, punch holes in a team. Maybe one week it's Hydreigon that's popping off for KOs, and the next week it's something else that's popping off for KOs. So good on the coaches for looking at different game plans and executing with different Mons to get wins.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna moving right along, just like the Alkaline Trio song. But we can't reference it anymore, or else Google's gonna take all our money away.
No.
I know. From our channel that averages 40 views. Actually, speaking of, guys, my ego hasn't been stroked recently. Please subscribe to the channel. Give it a like and a comment. Is there anything else you're supposed to grovel for?
I don't know. Money?
Yeah, if you want to support the channel, give P McGee money.
I don't know how you give it to me, but
I'm not giving away any of your personal stuff, and the Larry accounts have no way to receive money. So, all right, we're stuck.
I don't know.
Take a picture of you putting money on your counter and saying this is for
Yeah.
us. That's probably the best we can hope for.
I think so.
All right. This is so stupid. I'm losing my own brain cells.
Getting dumber by the minute.
All right. So let's get into this. This isn't our featured match, is it?
No, it is not.
No, that's a Zeke match. Okay. So this is sure I'm on the right page. Yeah. So we're moving on to Gary. So we have the MidWestern Military going up against the Phoenix Solgaleos and Shuriken and DD respectively. Alright, so here on the MidWestern Military side we have the Mega Pidgeot, Vaporeon, Mew, Klefki, Suian Gudra, and a Burnape.
And then on DD's side, we got the Spectrier, the Feeny, the Mega Gallade, the Zapdos, the Excadrill, and the Porygon. So a lot of pressure here on Pidgeot to be the Spectrier answer, which is not an ideal spot for Pidgeot to be in.
No, but maybe AV Gudra?
AV Gudra definitely holds the line. Actually, I take it back. With AV Gudra
Vaporeon.
plus Wish, with Wish Vaporeon even, then you can keep Gudra healthy. So maybe not. Maybe there's enough bulk.
And because of the Klefki, you're forced into a substitute set, or you can't really solo the field without getting T-waved.
Yeah.
So that's a little. I mean, maybe if Feeny gets, Feeny can always get some things set up or get the terrain set up for you, but anywho, Mew's looking pretty hot here as well. It has to be the Mega Gallade check. I saw recently someone, maybe it was this, I don't think it was this match, this doesn't seem like a Shuriken strat. Gallade was running no item Mew was running no item to be the Mega Gallade switch in.
But you just went Colbert Berry at that point, if you're going to be the Mega Gallade switch in.
I'm not disagreeing, okay? I'm just saying what I saw. Or maybe it was and I missed the first couple turns. In any case, so in actuality, what happened here, the Susui and Gudra kind of like set things up initially with like a really cool combo of, and it's something we've been seeing quite a bit of, the acid spray into, if it's Feeny, you hit it with the Sludge Wave, or you, like on the Porygon, it switch into an acid spray and then tank the Draco. It was down to like 10% HP as it teleports out, so it's done.
Yep. Because the thing with Porygon really is you can't, even if you know it's probably Draco coming, you can't just put it in the Feeny, because if it's Sludge Wave or it's Acid Spray again, then Feeny's not in a great spot. Excadrill can be a switch in, but Excadrill doesn't have a great bulk, so you gotta be really careful with a lot of your switch ins here, so you kind of end up sacking Porygon to not make a misplay on a critical offensive piece.
And in this match too, Excadrill got up a sword stance as the Suian Gudra clicked counter. So at that point, there's a lot of mental games going on of, if he clicks counter again, I need to sword stance.
Yep.
If he doesn't click counter and he clicks like surf or whatever, I'm dead man walking. So there was a lot of 50-50s going on. I remember the Mew set now. The Mew set was a weakness policy agility. After the Feeny and Porygon had been taken out and other things were weakened, so.
Oh no, I think and it was specifically, so it did agility, and then it did a really interesting thing where it roosted in front of a Spectrier because it had enough bulk to take a Shadow Ball to activate the weakness policy. I remember the Mew doing that.
Yeah, that was it. That was a cool play. At first I was like, what an idiot, and then I saw the weakness policy. I was like, wow, what a genius.
Because it was stored power, so he needed the Shadow Ball to get the weakness policy activated, so the stored power has power. So kudos for Pro on a really. That was cool. I mean, it's scary roosting in front of us, a really strong, super effective hit, but it worked out well for him.
Yeah, the only way it probably would have been if it was specs, but like again, it's not because of the Klefki. So, anywho, well done. We're going on to the next match. This is between the St. Louis Shroomish, coached by Helix Fossil, going up against the Washington Why Naughties, coached by Frandy. So let's see what was brought. Here on Helix's side, we have the Heatran, Landorus Incarnate, Blissey, Sneasler, Cleaver, and Gyarados.
And then on Frandy's side, we've got the Urshifu Single Strike, the Deoxys Speed, the Mega Altaria, the Gengar, the Swampert, and the Swellow. So Mega Altaria actually kind of pops.
I think this is supposed to be Mega Gyarados, but
okay, it probably doesn't get a chance to Mega Evolve, either dying on entry or never coming out.
Yeah. So
but
here's
Mega Altaria pops with Return plus Earthquake. That's just no switch in.
Also, Sneasler kind of pops if it gets up first.
Yes. There's no answers to either. I mean, Deoxys Speed actually, if it's bulky enough, can somewhat check Sneasler, but after it gets status, it really struggles to switch in reliably.
Yeah. So let's see what happened. It's
Oh,
5-0 for the Sneasler. So
I think
Urshifu
Quick Attack came into play here.
I don't remember. I remember Urshifu gets burned on the Heatran. So it stays in as Sneasler gets up some sword stances, all of them to be exact. And at that point, it just kind of murders the field.
Yeah, I think it did have Quick Attack because I think that's how it picks up Deoxys Speed.
Yeah, I think so
like
too.
It did. But really good Sneasler play. I think it's been one of those Theoremons we expect to pop off more and just hasn't fully popped off.
I think taking it down 2 points from like 15 to 13 really kind of sets it up a little more for success because you're willing to.
Absolutely.
It's a lot easier to spend 13 rather than 15 or 14 instead of 16. I don't remember where we put it. Now, if it ever picks up the triple axle move, it's going back up, I swear. Triple axle with poison touch just sounds stupid.
Yes. Absolutely.
But maybe it's not that bad and I'm just bad at theory modding. In any case, it's a good try from Frandy and well done by Helix to pick up another win. Here we have the Chelsea Chestnuts, coached by Waka, going up against the St. Louis Charizards, coached by Zardace. So here on Waka's side, we have the Tornadus Therian, Superior, Slowking, Galurk, Obstagoon, and Clefairy.
And then on Ace's side, we got the Ursaluna, the Incineroar, the Jirachi, the Aromatisse, the Rotom Wash, and the Weezing. Not a lot of Ursaluna answers here. I know we're going to see something interesting in the match, but really tough to come in on stab for Ursaluna since Facade just wreaks havoc, except for Golurk, but Golurk's not. Despite the look of Golurk, he's really not that bulky.
No, so the only time I've seen him bulky is like with an AV set, but
yeah, so he can do a little bit on the Spadef side, but Fizdef he's not. He looks far more daunting than he
he's just like, if average were a thing, Golurk's that.
Neutralizing Gas Weezing is actually pretty solid here. Actually, Neutralizing Gas Weezing is kind of gross here because it shuts down Obstagoon pretty well, and Superior loses special attack on Leaf Storms.
Yeah, run a Spadef Weezing with Pain Split. I like that.
It's doing quite a bit here.
Toxic for the Slowking, if you can catch it on the switch. Yeah, just start toxicking things.
Clefairy is also eating it too because Clefairy can't afford it doesn't have Magic Guard either with the Weezing there. So Weezing's actually, and it takes away the regenerator of Torn and Slowking. So this Weezing thoroughly has the potential to single-handedly unravel Waka's game if used right.
Serp really struggles to get through Spadef, Jirachi, and Incineroar too. Torn looks pretty good here. Like if you nasty plot and have Heat Wave for Jirachi, like you just need to get through that Rotom Wash. But if you're U-turning, Obstagoon can put in some work. It's just probably it's this defensive core of like Incineroar, Aromatisse, Weezing. Actually, the more as I talk and dissect this whole team from Zardace is defensive except for Ursaluna.
And maybe Jirachi, but yeah. So how do you break things if you can't get on offense ever? Because Ursaluna only has a couple of safe entries on the Slow King and the Clefairy mostly.
But like, I mean, Incineroar can Parting Shot him in. You've got Volt Turn and U-Turn. There's ways to get it in.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, let's see what happened. Waka takes it 1-0 from an Obstagoon. I'm guessing Weezing was just tasked to do a little too much. And if it goes down a little too early, then everything else just starts getting to pick up KOs or
yeah,
a few
there's
missed
no facade
predictions.
switch in.
Yeah. And then a few missed predictions from the Ursaluna, and you just don't have the counter kills.
Golurk ended up being Air Balloon, which is actually kind of funny and effective. I think Wacko took a better page from Pro Shuriken's book and didn't have like had something with a little bit of bulk.
That's
for a
amazing.
Haunter. But the Golurk was able to come in and kind of shut Ursaluna down a little bit, and it, with Ice Punch on like a Iron Fist set or something like that, it's enough to shut down the Ursaluna, take away most of its health, and neutralize it, even if it ends up losing.
That damage starts getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
But no,
so Golurk ends up being a pretty yeah, it was a really smart bring by Waka. I will definitely give him that was a smart little piece of tech to manage the Ursaluna.
Alright, so let's take a look at this next match. Alright, this is between Soul and Zeke. This is our featured match, so we're not going to go in depth here. We're going to just move on to the next. Alright, this is another match that hasn't happened, but it's looking like it'll happen later in the week, so we'll see.
Stay tuned.
Like, look, I can click the spoiler button. Nothing happens. We just lose our Larrys.
No, it's a 0-0, which it will be if they don't finish by.
Yeah, it'll be a -3/-3.
That's true.
Alright. Next we have the Denton Zoroark, coached by Spirit Union, going up against the Waikato Chestnuts, coached by Liger. So here on Denton's side, we have the Garchomp, Vikavolt, Corviknight, Decidueye, Hariyama, and Starmie.
Again?
Yeah.
2 Hariyamas this week. I am a fan, I must admit. On Liger's side, we got the Mega Scizor, the Tyranitar, the Cinderace, the Gliscor, the Latias, and the Milotic. Latias is a lot of trouble for this team to switch into. There's significant pressure on Vikavolt to be the answer to that.
You catch a Mystical Fire, though, and...
yeah, and even then it gets tough.
Yeah, that's probably your best bet. Like, you gotta catch it.
Maybe
you gotta catch it on the Switch, though. But even then,
yeah.
Lottie, without CM, it's pretty vulnerable, even to a -1 Bug Buzz.
Yeah.
So, that's tough. Chomp can put a lot of pressure on this team, too. As long as you run Aqua Tail.
Yeah, you gotta have Aqua Tail for the Gliscor, otherwise you're not getting anywhere.
So, well, if you run Aqua Tail, you're giving up Fire Fang, so it's not exactly free, but you just gotta make sure whatever... Chomp, in this case, probably handles the Scizor and not the Gliscor. Just looking at the team.
Interesting scenario here is there's not a lot of ways to push through this Mega Scizor without Fire Fang. Corviknight's never gonna break Scizor. Vikavolt can, but with Gliscor there, Scizor should never be taking electric attacks from the Vikavolt. There's no reason to. And then Hariyama might have Fire Punch, but it's too slow. So it's interesting how you break through a Scizor here as long as Gliscor's healthy enough to switch it on some of the attacks.
So let's take a look at what happened, and so the Dentons, they take it 4-0. This was actually a really cool Vikavolt set. It's not the coolest I've seen.
Yeah, it did something really funky for the Gliscor, wasn't it? Like
it agility'd, and then it had a Charty Berry for the Tyranitar.
How did it break the Gliscor then?
I don't remember. It may have been Decidueye doing things, because Decidueye is what broke the Mega Scizor. It had, I think it was like Banded Poltergeist.
Mm-hmm.
And that like took 60 or 70 away from the Scizor.
That sounds right.
It may have done something similar to the Gliscor. Or Starmie got it early. Yeah, in any case, that's kind of what happened, because the Charty Berry took out Tyranitar. Like, that was a nice little surprise, and then but then once these things start falling, then Chomp just comes in and is like, all right, I'll win, thanks. Garchomp doing Garchomp things. So that was a cool piece of tech from the Vigavolt, and I think that and the Decidueye just took Liger off guard, and I think it was running a pretty more offensive team and just got
Yeah, I
broken
think
down
just
a
so much
little early.
offense. So kudos to Spirit for not trying to go ballast and just putting the pressure. I mean, that's what Hariyama on a team generally speaks to, is I'm just going to try to put a lot of pressure on you. Can't you can't you can't really defensively switch into Hariyama, and so a couple turns like that, and then defensive pieces crumple, and then things like Garchomp and Vikavolt have their opportunities to sweep.
Yeah. So well done. All right, taking a look at our last match in Disciple, we have Melbourne Rums, coached by Edster, going up against the Kansas City Cleaver, coached by Egotistical Elekid. So here on Edster's team, we have the Empoleon, the Heliolisk, the Weavile, the Noivern, Nidoqueen, and Mega Gardevoir.
Elekid's team, we got the Tapu Lele, the Volcanion, the Celesteela, the Melmetal, the Zygarde, and the Latios. So Empoleon has a lot of pressure on it in this matchup to be able to switch into Melmetal more than once, because there are no other double Iron Bash switch-ins.
Yeah.
Heliolisk won't take it. So if I'm Elekid in this match, I'm actually running like an AV Melmetal, because
Just switches in pretty freely, and as long as it yeah, what do you do?
Yeah, because things that might want to be able to revenge kill it can't actually revenge kill it. So something like Nidoqueen tries to come in for an Earth Power and just gets double Iron Bash to death, or Noivern tries to come in and Flamethrower and gets double Iron Bash to death. So Melmetal smacks pretty hard here. Zygarde smacks pretty hard here if after Dragon Dance, you have like your Yachi Berry for the Weavile.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even Zygarde, good DD set can always just extreme speed the Weavile, because that out prioritizes Ice Shard. Or you just have the Lele set up your terrain, and then you get your D-Dance and...
That's true. Then you don't have to worry about the Weavile.
Alright, let's see what happens. This
Hey!
6-0. Zygarde set up. Go figure.
I do believe it was a Yachi Berry, and Weavile wasn't able to deal. And it was extreme speed at that, too. So it was like kind of a double whammy.
Yeah, I think it was just Yachi, and it was like, oh, okay. I win now. Thank you. This team's super weak to 1,000 arrows. Okay, every team's weak to 1,000 arrows. It's a busted move. This team especially.
It's held in check by the fact that Zygarde doesn't have a lot of power to it. The good Zygarde, because it's only like a base 100.
It's a base 90
attack
move.
A base 90 move on a base 100 attack stat.
Oh, okay,
Zygarde,
yeah.
So So it's not like
needs a boost.
This isn't like a This isn't like a Garchomp with like a 135 smacking 1,000 arrows. It's held in check by relatively low attack stat and moderate speed, but it's still
that's for a legendary, so
it's true.
It's a way to go. All right, we're gonna hop into the featured match. It's between Zeke and Soul. So here on Zeke's team, we have the Mandibuzz. This is Urshifu Rapid Strike. Coco, Mega Venusaur, I think. I don't remember. This may also just be normal Venusaur. Metagross and Tornadus, just incarnate.
And then on Soul side, we've got what should be a Mega Diancie, I believe. The Victini, the Gyapdos, the Ferrothorn, the Whimsicott, and the Porygon 2. Interesting matchup. Coco kind of wants to be a little bit defensive here to manage the Gyapdos, but Coco also invites in Ferrothorn, and this team doesn't have a great fire move on the bench, so Ferrothorn can get a little bit of pressure, although maybe with...
You're looking at close combats to really kind of break it down.
Yeah, so Whimsicott maybe wants to answer some of the close combat stuff, but it's a poison jab from death. So it'll be an interesting game of 50-50s, and whoever gets the right one early might break it open.
Yeah, I mean, even switching into the U-turn for Whims isn't too great. That's going to be like 40%. All right, let's pop into it. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, Metagross lead against Porygon.
Ooh, substitute's pretty interesting.
All right.
Never mind.
No, I respect it. It's you expect the teleport turn 1, and in which case the sub looks really strong.
Mana Buzz doesn't seem like a great answer to. Although mixed Victini probably helps. Ooh. Well, that's actually pretty interesting.
I like that because now you outspeed the field. Steel Wing and it just.
Ooh. Okay.
Did
well,
less than
you did some chip.
It did less than I was hoping. Okay, so
I'm
now
surprised
you
he
know.
doesn't use Whimsicott here to check for the
Scarf.
move. Yeah.
It's a super obvious scarf when you're switching in like this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it could be Bandit Aquajet.
Good knockoff.
Alright, so knockoff gets rid of the Eviolite. That's cool. You have the Tailwind
before you go down. Great turn.
Might as well. I mean,
well, let's do something like Metagross to
Cosmic Power while Victini's still alive.
So now you sub again. I'm surprised he hasn't already subbed.
Yeah, this is still gonna chunk a ton.
Wait, he's outspeeding the. Oh, it's Tailwind. I was like, what?
Oof,
yeah, 57. And then it's kind of just.
That's great, a lot of damage.
Great
I'm wondering
set.
if that's specs.
It's a great set. It just he didn't take care of the problem.
No, it's not
take
specs.
care of before executing it. No, because it Blue Fairy and you turned at one point.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued that he keeps keeping the Whimsicott on the bench here when it's such an easy switch in on the Source Food because it's not trying to even predict the Whimsicott.
Setting its own Sunny Day. Oh no. Alright.
Good turn to sack the Porygon too. Lets you get in Victini.
But you don't have a move.
Earth Power.
You don't have a move that can KO it. Earth Power isn't gonna KO though.
Yeah, it might have gotten close.
Well, Sludge Bomb did 40, so you do another like 50% on top of that. Doesn't KO.
That's true.
But alright, yeah, we're just running out of steam here.
Ooh.
That's specs.
That might be specs. Whimsicott. No wonder he's been keeping that on the bench. Ooh. Ouch. Good Brave Bird for some diff save. Interesting choice to bring in the Gyapdos, but it lives anyway.
I think I would have liked to see it pass away. Ferrothorn never gets a chance. Well, I mean, it does get the chance. It did a ton of damage to the Venusaur. Yeah. I think this was a case of Zeke kind of getting a little too cute. He set up the Tailwind and then didn't do anything with it, essentially, like running 2 Cosmic Powers. Like,
that's when you come with offense.
It just doesn't,
maybe if you have a Sunny... See, if he also has Tailwind, he probably should have had Sunny Day. I think that would have been the better play.
Yeah, because they could have set up the Sunny Day and then just growth one turn.
Venusaur go.
Growth one turn, and then... Like, you can do the Weather Extender item, too.
Mm-hmm.
So then you growth, and then you break. Just break
There's no
the
answers.
team.
You win at that point.
Yeah.
So I think Zeke had a winning play. I think Zeke was in a spot to win that game, and whether or not he had the right moves is the question.
Yeah. Funnily enough, like Zeke has run Rain and now Sun.
Yeah. He's got some play with the weather here. I'm really torn. I've drafted this Torn before, and I didn't know what to do with it. I couldn't find utility with it. So I'm really excited to see it being used in interesting ways, like the support piece it tends to show up on it in VGC. Seeing it do the same thing in draft is very interesting, and he's doing well with it. So kudos to him. Didn't work out this week, but I still respect the utility of Torn.
All right, let's take a look at our field here, see how things are looking. So we have 2 coaches at top, still 3-0 between Waka and Soul. So they're probably feeling pretty good. And we have 2 coaches yet to pick up a win between Beats and Zardes. But Iris hasn't played this week.
Chance.
So, you could pick up that win here against Rock. And then quite a few 1 and 2 teams. And a couple 2 and 1 teams. You can kind of read them at your leisure. Let's take a look at our leaderboard here. Sneasler's at number 4. Let's go. But we have Mew at 9, really starting to set itself apart.
Yeah, really interested about that too. Mew is such a versatile piece that it almost never pops off as a kill leader just because it can't play that role
Yeah.
consistently enough. So kudos to Pro for getting that to continue to get him kills week after week.
There's a ton of mons at 4 KOs, so the only one you'll see is Urshifu, because that's the least deaths, but I'm not going to really name all the rest of them. You can take a look for yourself. They're listed on the doc. So that's pretty cool. We're going to pop back over to the recaps, and we're going to move into the Larry division.
Larry.
He's our man. If he can't do it, maybe Pinchuring can. Just kidding. Alright, so we're gonna jump into these. So our first match was my match of Columbus Gallade up against the Cleveland Clampers between me and Yahoodles. So let's take a look at what we brought. It's the Urshifu Single Strike, the Nidoking, Mega Deontay, Vikavolt, Appletoon, and Corviknight.
And then on Yahoodle's side, we got the Mega Mawile, the Medicham, the Duosion, the Azumarill, the Thundurus Therian, and the Celesteela. So there's just a lot of physical power here, and Corviknight obviously is your best answer to most of that physical power.
I have a Larry I could have brought, but like this is a pseudo rain team, so I wanted to try and force the Appletoon to at least one match.
Yeah, this is about as good as it's gonna get with the pseudo rain mode.
Yeah, and it didn't work because I got too cute. I was running a Curse plus Amnesia set, but then
yeah, too much setup.
And then I forgot Medicham can just trick, so it tricks me a Choice Scarf. Oops.
That's right, it did do that. That was actually pretty spicy on Yahoodles because obviously this isn't Mega Medicham, so it has an item. It's usually a Scarf because Mega Medicham only has an 80 speed.
Yeah.
And
I also went for
stopped it.
Yeah, I also went for Agility Vikavolt, but he kind of gets me with the turn 1 flinch, but that's okay. And I totally blank out on Nidoking and just let a Mawile Sucker Punch me. So that was cool.
Oh yeah, +2 Mawile, yeah, the Sucker Punch was kind of GG at that point for...
At that point, yeah. The Mawile also lived on 3% for a roll that's likely in my favor on a Mystical Fire from Mega Deontay. But
that's right.
That's just the difference of 1. Like, I don't win the match from that point. Like, Celesteela still is well out of death range. Like, Azumarill's a problem, right? So like I don't, and I think it was Bandit Azumarill. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I got outplayed, and I should click the spoiler tab. Yeah, so still a 2-0, but that's really just a differential saver, and I just I don't know. I got too cute, and Yahoodles played better than me. And when you play better than someone, you win. Isn't that a surprise?
Yeah.
So, well done. I don't know why. Let's see. Let's check the Pokemon spoilers. It's just totally not working here. Alright, there it is. It's loading in. It just took a second. But it's... Alright, let's reload the page. You may see a little bit behind the curtain. You still there, McGee?
I'm still here.
Okay. Oh, we're trying to connect to the Google server. That's what's up.
Ah.
So... Alright, there we go. Everything's reconnected. So let's just scroll down. I'm gonna go back, make sure it's working. Yeah, see, we record live. Scripts are for tricks, kids. Alright, so this is the Alberta Surge, coached by Huiku, going up against the Kinky Katanas, coached by Noir. So here on Huiku's team, we have the Mega Pinsir, Excadrill, Zeraora, Gigalith, the Axis Defense, and the Purugly.
Oh, there right now. And then on Noir's side, we've got the Dracopult, the Heatran, the Rillaboom, the Gligar, the Glowking, and the Ditto. I'm curious as to what the role of the Purugly is in this match. I know the item it carries and see some kind of play with that, but I'm not really sure what to make of it. A Dracopult answer? Like, I'm really unsure about what the Purugly was trying to do here.
Yeah, I don't know. It's stupid.
I'll be honest.
It's stupid.
But he does have the Pinsir, whose role is much more clear because Swords Dance Pinsir just kind of wins the game, although Ditto being on the other team is
can like counter
scary.
win it.
Yeah, so you have to be a little careful with clicking Swords Dance until the Ditto's out of play. And if I'm Noir, I'm not sacking my Ditto until the Pinsir's gone because Pinsir kind of reverses.
Even then, as long as Gigalith and Excadrill and Zeraora are alive, Ditto is almost forced to click Quick Attack.
Close combat.
Well, if you click Close Combat and Huiku's Pinsir clicks Quick Attack, you lose your Ditto.
Well, sure, but I don't think Huiku would click Quick Attack normally because Ditto would outspeed with Quick Attack because of the Choice Scarf. So it's a gamble game. There's a lot of 50-50s at play here. But
needless to
Pinsir
say,
definitely plays an important role in the match.
Kinda. It's a 5-0, but essentially what happens is hazards get stacked, and Gligar just didn't bring the fuck, so...
Nope, nor a rock move for that matter. That it was a double whammy on the Gligar here, because if it has a rock move, because Mega Pinsir uses Gligar's pacificity
to set up.
Yeah, it just Swords Dances in front of Gligar, and Gligar literally only has knockoff for Pinsir, who doesn't care, because Pinsir's got some decent physical balls.
Resists. So.
Yeah, it doesn't resist, but it just can't be knocked off.
But
it's just a weak move. So yeah, he gets like 2 Swords Dances in and then just starts clicking buttons and answers.
Was this a Sandless Gigalith? Yeah, it was sturdy.
It was.
Because it was sturdy Cutsap with the explosion.
That's right. I don't know who it was for in the matchup because Rillaboom doesn't get KO'd that way with the Cutsap unless you're exploding on the turn the Grassy Glide happens.
Could be for Slowking or something else that Noir had in the back.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but it does come into play and it worked. It was cute. Okay. Up next we have our featured match, so we don't have to talk about it until a little bit later.
Yeah.
So moving right along. Alright, next we have the Lake Michigan Leafeons, coached by Spike, going up against the Thunderous from Down Under, coached by Sparky. So here on Leafeon's side, we have the Gastrodon, Mega Scizor, Goodra, Florges, Glisker, and Spectrier.
And then on Sparky's side, we got the Ursaluna, of course, the Mega Aggron, the Slowking, the Noivern, the Clefable, and the Drapion. Ursaluna, obviously, button clicks here. Not really any switch-ins other than winning 50-50 guesses. Maybe having a lot of Protect spam if you're trying to deal with Trick Room or burn it out. He doesn't have the benefit that Fact did with a lot of priority moves. He's just really got the Bullet Punch on the Mega Scizor.
Which doesn't do all that much.
No.
Conversely, though, there's not a lot going against the Spectrier here.
No, you're really relying on the Ursaluna to stay healthy.
Which will get worn down, like especially if it's guts.
Yeah, you could be AV Drapion, which I have seen decent. The problem is that doesn't do anything to Mega Scizor, and Spike can figure that out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So
you have to pursue it, but I mean, you can always just sub Willow and
yeah,
it's a Drapion.
So it's which mon gets an opening first and capitalizes, and things kind of start to domino.
Yeah. But yeah, like in that same vein, Ursaluna and Trick Room just kills everything.
Yeah, you have to win your 50.
So we see
But
Spectre take it. This
yeah,
was
Ursulina puts in some damage. It's the worst. Ursulina got 3 kills and it's its worst performance yet.
yeah. So essentially, what happens in this though, you get to this point where where like Spectre sets up a sub as Noivern comes in or something like that. Noivern misses the Hurricane, and then that's all it takes. Spectre's ready to play. You can't do anything else. So, but that's all it takes for Spectre to win games.
Absolutely.
And Ursaluna's not the greatest check, and neither is Drapion. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna lose to the horse. Alright, so next we have the Miami Delphox, coached by Fact Luigi, going up against the LA Nidokings, coached by Black117. So here on Fact's team, we have the Mega Gallade, Crocodile, Zapdos, Empoleon, Kyurem, and Cinderace.
And then on Black's team, we've got the Mew, the Vaporeon, the Mega Aerodactyl, the Raikou, the Nidoqueen, and the Machamp.
So, I don't even really want to talk about this match. I just kind of want to show it so we can talk about what actually happened. So I think that's more interesting. Because the Machamp has 3 KOs. This Machamp is being an absolute menace. And I mean, you can look at.
He didn't even bring Guts this week. It wasn't even a Guts set on Machamp this week. I think it was like a Bulk Up or something.
Yeah, it was Bulk Up. It doesn't need it. So
yeah.
Really only have to worry about the Zapdos. And it isn't even like a guaranteed free switch in with the Zapdos.
Even Zapdos has to be careful because it's probably still Guts. It's just not running a Flame Orb. It might be Iron Fist. I'm actually not positive. But
I mean, it could be running Stone Edge. I'm pretty sure it has that.
Yeah. Anyway, what we really saw this week in a lot of the games is that these slow fighting types are just menaces.
Well, in Black's case in particular, he took a lot of care to keep it healthy with Vaporeon. And there were a few instances where even though he got his rocks changed back on him through court change, he was still able to keep his own rocks up. So, but like the Machamp really just put so much pressure on Empoleon, and and Krook was staying in the back to try and keep Mega Aerodactyl at bay, and eventually just Fact ran out of steam. There was a play towards the end that it looked like Fact just got the wrong double, and Mega Gallade took a bunch of damage, or it did the double switch and then he's staring down a Raikou. But in either case, it's, sometimes it's stuff like that. Maybe this was the match where it was like itemless Mew or something, and Mega Gallade just hits it for like 40% right off the bat. Cause maybe Fact has a Ghost type mon that likes spamming Poltergeist.
Poltergeist, yeah. That's the only time I can really buy into itemless mons is Poltergeist spam.
Yeah, I don't know, but in any case, really well done from Black. I'm loving what the synergy, seeing the Vaporeon keep Machamp healthy, so Machamp continues to break throughout the match. It's really cool. Throwing dynamic punches too, I think. So maybe it was not this week. No. Okay. Our next match is between the Sunset Soul Rocks, coached by Gradual, going against King Choodle, coached by Detective Butters.
I love the King Choodle. Just something looking at Choodle staring at you head on with that unibrow. It's glorious.
It's perfect.
I enjoy looking at that every week. There are some I don't care about looking at every week, but I'm happy to look at King Choodle every week.
Me too. It's one of my favorite logos. Alright, so here we have the Latios, Weavile, the Rotom Wash, Arcanine, Mega Lopunny, and Aromatisse.
And then on Butter's side, we got the Landorus, the Mienshao, the Scizor, the Dracozolt, the Slowbro, and the Zoot. Zolt actually has a decent matchup in this game. There's not really great switch-ins to it.
It's actually kind of silly to look at without any sand. Are we running? Are we running Hustle here or Volt Absorb? I would think Volt Absorb with the Rotom Wash. But like, I don't know, man. I think I'm also looking at a Dracozolt, so.
And a bulky Arcanine can have Dracozolt, especially if it's like rocky.
Yeah, I think I agree. Maybe not in sand, but I don't even think Butters has a sand team. He just has Dracozolt.
It doesn't. No.
Yeah,
I remember Butters dracking the Dracozolt, and I was scared to death my Hippowdon was going to get taken, so I took it early. But
okay, so you know the Weavile struggles to put pressure on Scissor, and if it's choice locked, like actually even after you lose the item, if you're only running knockoff, Slowbro can be a bit hard to break too. If you're sword stance, it's obviously not an issue.
And Slowbro with body press here is a really KO. On Weavile, also a solid answer for Mega Lop, so you got to be really careful of the bro.
Yeah. So let's take a look here. We have 4 KOs for the Scizor. It's showing up as a 1-1, but Aromatisse is just missing a death.
Yeah, I might have. Was the game forfeited before it ended, something like that, or no?
It could have been.
No,
I don't remember.
Never mind. But yeah, I think Slowbro does get the body press kill it wanted on the Weavile. I could be correct on that. Might be wrong.
And that's all you need. Weavile still picks up 2 KOs. There may have been a moment where, yeah, Arcanine was getting pretty low. Zarude was also super low, but it had like 2 or 3 bulk ups. So Arcanine goes for the extreme speed, only does like 6% out of the 10 needed, and then Zarude picks up the KO. And at that point, with Arcanine down, and I think Rotom Wash was super low, it was just Scizor is ready to save the day, at least for Butters.
Really surprising the Scizor actually kind of takes off here, seeing as there's 2 solid answers.
Rotom Wash and Arc, yeah.
Yeah, but it does it.
And does it? It does. So I think Gradual had a chance he could win it, but I think losing the Arcanine just kind of let Scizor run free. But on the other hand,
absolutely.
At that point, I don't think he had anything that could switch into Zarude either. So, and you can't just let it, like, jungle heal itself back up to full while it's set up. So bulky of a mon.
Yep. Absolutely.
Alright. Next we have Arkham City Delibirds, coached by A12, going up against the Republic City Firefirts, coached by Claude9. Here we have Mega Slowbro, Articuno, Deoxys Speed, Suian Zoroark, Miltank, and Torterra.
And then on Claude's side, we have the Coco, the Blastoise, the Galarian Moltres, the Tyrantrum, the Ferrothorn, and the Landorus Therian. There's a lot we could talk about here.
I'm laughing because we've already spent more time talking about this match than the match actually took.
Yeah. Basically, you got to make sure you have an answer to the classic Galarian Moltres setup. And
it double dances and it wins.
Yeah, it's pretty brief.
This is like 10-turn match.
Yeah, because there's no resist to either of its staffs in this matchup for A12.
I think what A12 said in the post game chat was that I overestimated Kuno's bulk.
Yeah,
I believe it.
And Kuno did the cardinal sin of doing like 51% damage to the Moltres or something like that.
Yeah.
Just enough to set off the Berserk.
Oops.
And
that's all I needed.
Yeah, so Moltres just pops here. And not much could stop it on his team because he has a wonky. He drafts wonky, which leaves holes, and this was a hole that got exploited badly in this matchup. So great win for Claude. Tough loss for A12. Doesn't really say much about either of them. Just Claude fully exploited
sometimes
position.
It'd be that way.
Yeah. So it's tough for him, but I'm sure A12 will bounce back just fine.
Alright, so now we're going to go to our featured match between Gidon and Mr. McGee himself. So here on Gidon's side, we have the Lantern, Garchomp, Galarian Zapdos, Necrozma, Greninja, and Mega Kangaskhan.
And then on my side, I got the Tornadus Therian, the Mega Guard, the Dracovish, the Hippowdon, the Cleavor, making his debut, and the Rotom.
I like how there's a few mons that have like the Gen 5 era sprites from PLA,
Yeah.
and then some are just like Cleaver.
Yeah.
Well, by some I mean I think
yeah.
it's only Hisui and Kudra, so.
So this is a tougher matchup for me. Lantern's a pretty solid Vish answer to the point where I don't want to get choice locked into things, so I changed up my Vish strategy and I run Life Orb in this matchup just to try to navigate the Lantern a little cleaner.
The good news is in that respect, Outrage is looking pretty nice for you.
Outrage is pretty great here. I don't remember what the fairy was, but I don't remember it being dangerous. And even if it was, I still had Fish's Friend anyway, so pretty free spammable matchup for the Dracovish. It just needs to deal with the one obvious good answer in the Lantern.
From his perspective, too, if he can get rid of the Hippowdon, Chomp's looking pretty mighty.
Kind of. I got the Torn, which does have Icy Wind, and I got Toxic Rotom, so not an easy time for the Chomp, but after a sword, and if it's able to get the Double Dance and a Shore, then I get obliterated by Stone Edge, but as long as I keep it in check, I'm not too nervous.
You're not running any Cleric stuff this match, so...
No, I don't have a Cleric team. I don't think I have Wish this season, so I'm a little against my norm.
The paralysis spam from Kangaskhan can be really annoying for you.
I believe I have Fizz Def Rotom with Pain Split just because of the Kangaskhan. I didn't want to have to bring Rotom this week, but I knew the Body Slam spam was just too much to do anything else besides have Rotom, because Hippowdon can get worn down by that too.
Which, I mean, he can just run Toxic. There's so many things. But let's get into this match. Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, so
I go straight for a
Kangaskhan,
Cleaver lead, because I'm Scarf, and I want to Scout. Fake Out's no surprise.
Okay, it's just
Kangaskhan should have to respect my close combat potential, which gives me a free U-turn opportunity.
So you get the Torn in, this just feels good.
Yep.
You scout
Confirm
the Scarf.
It is. Got the Rocky Helmet, so I can scout around. Gives me a free Rotom switch in.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think I'm Spadef Rotom, actually, which is good here because that hurts, obviously.
Yeah, I like that. I actually like both parts of that play. Except now he's in Torrent range, and oof. Not that it matters, he misses the Gunk Shot. Very unfortunate for him, but I love the double to bring the Greninja in.
Oh, absolutely. Hippowdon's running a Smooth Rock this week, which in retrospect may be a mistake because I'm letting this Kangaskhan just
set up for free.
Do a lot here.
Ooh, I don't think the crit mattered.
No, it didn't.
No.
So it's obviously Dracovish time. I'm gonna click Vicious Rend here because I have to deal with.
It's kind of free.
I can't be overguessing. I can't be overguessing here. And I'm Life Orb, so I'm okay with Lantern being in because I can just get the Earthquake here on a Predicted Volt switch, which it does.
And now you can just go for Vicious again.
He should Fake Out here. He's gonna think way too many turns ahead, and I'm just gonna click Outrage because that's a pretty spammable move right now. Lantern's gonna get sacked. And then I believe he's gonna sack the Gyapdos too. I am 3.
So you get 3 attacks. Still cheating.
3 kills.
Still cheating.
Good old Dracovish. And if I had saved Hippowdon, or if I'd been able to save Hippowdon, I would have probably been able to win that game on Outrage spam. But alas, Garchomp's gonna kind of be in a tough spot here. Yeah, but he doesn't get the speed.
He needs the 5 hits. Yeah.
And then I'm just gonna Icy Wind again because that's the safe play. And then I think we can switch it to fast mode here. So I'm gonna make the cardinal mistake of not having Taunt, because Taunt is the best way to deal with an.
And at this point, you already know what the set is, don't you? You know Rest is there.
I know Rest is there, and I just don't really have anything I can do about it. So this is gonna play out for like another 30 turns.
I'm actually gonna go hyper
I'm gonna
fast.
Yeah, you can. He's winning. I can't win this matchup unless I get crits.
You need a Cleaver crit.
So my out here, because I don't realize he has it for a while. I don't realize his last move is Toxic. So what I'm actually trying to do with the Gardevoir is Moonblast and take down his special attack so much that Gardevoir can tank the stored powers.
But he does get your guard.
He toxes it. And like you said, no Cleric. So no Cleric plus Toxic spam will do me down. and I can't get the crits with Cleavor, so unfortunate.
Yeah.
But really good. It's a great set by Jadon. I can't fault it. I just didn't bring an answer I should have brought, and he had the perfect set. And I didn't really have a great dark type at Zoroark, so Necrozma's not super scared of that.
Nah. One call mine, and he's like, yeah, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, exactly. So really good work by Jadon in this matchup. I just don't have answers, and he does.
You actually probably need 2 crits even. I don't think a single U-turn crit's gonna take down a Necrozma either.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, there was maybe one point where it was at like 60% with Cleaver in, but I don't know.
I still need the crit. Crit U-turn might have done it. Well, actually would have done it, but again, he's got the prison armor to make it even harder on me. So I lost as soon as that set was out, and I don't have taunt. If I have taunt, I win. I don't lose. So great work to Jadon. Make me reassess my torn sets if we get a rematch in the future.
Yeah, but I'm gonna let this play out because it deserved to see the end of it.
The regular match only takes like about 25 turns. It's the me trying to get an out here that doesn't. Because here's my Cleaver turn towards the end where he's at 47%. I just can't get that.
Yeah, 69. Nope. That was it. That was your one chance.
Yep. Oh well.
Oh, you get one more right here. He does rest. I was kind of hoping to see one here at the end where it wouldn't matter. Well, in any case, super well done, Jadon. We're gonna pop over to our standings now. Claude and Black solely at the top with 3-0. Claude sporting some pretty nice differential. I have a few teams at 2-1, and then 1-2, and one team you have to pick up a win with Noir, but Noir's gonna pick up a win. So
it's Noir. He's good.
Yeah, I'm not
too
worried at all. Freaking Sparky, man. Ursaluna, 13 KOs with 3 deaths. So it's died every single match it's come to.
Sparky might want to focus on some wins so that he can win this season, but he's doing just fine in the KO realm right now.
Yeah, you got your Dracovish up there too. Isn't that fun?
I mean, he could leave it behind the rest of the season, and it'll probably still finish in the top 5.
Yeah. Well.
So.
Top 10 guaranteed. Likely top 5. People in the upper divs tend to have 1 or 2 pieces of offense that they start strategizing around.
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously built around the Dracovish, which is why it's where it is. I love the number 4 mon on our list right now.
And the number 5.
Yeah, both great mons you don't normally get to see a lot of, so really cool to see them. We get both scissors in the top 10, which is also pretty entertaining.
I didn't notice that. That's great.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So that's all that we have. This we've been going for like an hour 20 minutes, so this is a good time to stop the video.
Yeah.
We got week 4 coming up. Lots of cool matchups happening. So if you've been with us this whole time, thank you so much. Really appreciate you watching. We'll catch you next week. I've been Dr. Geo. With me is
P McGee.
We'll see you later. Peace.